welcome to Rance's channel. This time we're going to talk about rear lights on the Capri, because my car's got a bit of an unusual thing. So here we go. So we have export indicators fitted, or indicator lenses. However, they're fitted to standard stop and tail light units. So the idea is that the brake light becomes the flasher, if you see what I mean. So as they don't look too bad, but they are quite sort of corroded. I'm going to see how they're going to polish up. But light units, I've got two new old stock ones, but they're all I've got four new old stock ones, but they're all indicator units which aren't really suitable for my needs. So the problem is, can I change these into or replace these with the indicator ones? But I'm going to have to change the bulb holders, because they're different holders for an indicator for a stop and tail. So the idea is to take the stop and tail filament or bulb holder out of these and put them in my new old stock indicator ones. So that's the plan. So this is the inside, just taking the screws off the bulb holder, just got a disconnect. Just going to take note. So I've got 5 goes into that one there, and the flasher, yellow and green wire, goes into there. So we shall disconnect those and then take them home. So pardon Barky Dog. Right, that's now loose. That shall now come out. Hey, just like that. So here we have nice shiny new old stock one on the right, and the one I've taken off the car on the left. So the new old stock one is an indicator one with just the one green wire for the flasher, whereas the one that's come off the car is a stop and tail fitted with a indicator lens, red indicator lens, which has the stop and tail and side light or brake or running lights, whatever you want to call them. Now this is a nice shiny new base, and this one will probably do a polish up, it'll probably be okay, but I think it is a bit tarnished. But I thought, well, I tried putting on the forum and saying, has anyone got any new old stock stop and tails? Unfortunately I need 4 if I want to keep it as it is, because the whole idea is that when you put the side lights or headlights on, you get 4 red lights at the rear, but also when you indicate, I know this is going to get some of the Capri aficionados a bit funny, because the indicators should be on the innermost set of rear lights. Some people will put the indicators on the outside set of lights, but they're supposed to be on the inside. But as my car's kind of been customised like that, using stop and tail lights anyway, I don't care. If it's been customised like that, that's how it's going to stay. But it means that I'm probably unlikely to find 4 pairs of new old stock stop and tail lights like these, but I have got 4 of these which are brand new. So John Lyus on the thing said, oh, why don't you swap bulb holders over? Well, I know that's something that I've possibly had to look at on the Thames 400E, because I've got chrome indicators on those, and that was like the higher spec sort of deluxe model, whereas most of them were a standard sort of aluminium or painted silver. But when the rear side light unit or tail light unit is the same as the front indicator side light unit, and you can apparently swap them over by bending the tags back over and pulling the bulb holder over. So John Lyus said, oh, why don't you just swap the bulb holders over? I'm going to give it a try, see what happens. So here we are with the lens covers removed. Yes, this one's got quite a bit of corrosion in it, and this is what a shiny new one looks like. So yeah, it's interesting that the reflector's different in that. Didn't know that was different. So I think end up, that's a nice shiny one. I don't really see that will make that much difference because the shroud is still going to reflect light off the light that's being beamed out, no matter which angle it's at. And the bulb holder, although this one's pointing out and this one's pointing up, it's still the same way of fitting. It still tags. So yeah, it should still be okay. Look at that, a brand new info brass ended bulb as well. Cool. So I initially tried using modular screwdrivers to try and get underneath the tag, and I can tell you now those tags are down quite well. So what I've done is I've used a pair of track cutting pliers. They're very accurate for cutting model railway track. Then they've got nice tiny sharp flanges on the jaws, so it just gets underneath it. It just gives you enough purchase just to tweak them back. I wouldn't really advise you trying to use modular screwdrivers because they just don't get underneath there. Really, it's a tight fit. Now, although I managed to use the pliers to get the front ones up easy enough, the back ones there's a great deal of difficulty because of the shroud, which I think is going to be more of a problem with the stop and tail, because at least this one you've got some access. I am actually reverting back to the modular screwdriver and a small little ickle hammer just to drive underneath the tag, and then I'll probably use the pliers to ease them back up properly once I've got a little bit of purchase on them. All the tags are bent up. Moment of truth, come out. That's the shroud off. Ah, that's interesting. Right, just here there is a slot, so it does appear that you have to go way round, so it has to line up. So just beware for reassembly. There is actually a slot, which is interesting, and there's a tag just on the inside. So pull him out. Just come on, get into focus. You see that slot there? That lines up with that tag just in there. So that's interesting. Let's see what the other one's like on the stop and tail. You can actually see on the stop and tail when it's corroded, it's actually a bit more obvious there. Yeah, it's the tag just there. The stop and tail tags are actually slightly easier because you can pry against the inside lip of the shroud. So here we are, just like that, as Tommy Cooper would say. So, swapsies time. So just noting that also the shroud has also got the tag that lines up on the hole on the bottom there. So that also lines up with the tag in the filament holder, as well as in the actual light unit. It all goes together in that slot. This is part 2 of Ranted's tail light filament swap over. So here you go, this is the swapped over stop and brake light put into the filament, put into the new old stock indicator one that I've got. So as you can see, it's done. Yeah, it's doable, but you never quite get the same kind of flaring on those tags. So my only concern is maybe a little bit of vibration might cause the filament to fail, maybe, I don't know. We shall see. We can only find out, and that is by proof in the pudding of testing. But yeah, it's gone in, so I've done it. Am I going to do it again? Possibly. So now I'm just going to refit this one in, so hopefully that might be of use to someone else. Maybe I'll give a bit of a clean up, and it might be good to someone else, because I think it's a bit of overspray or something on there or something. So yeah, we'll give her a clean up. The back's alright, as they always are, but it might come up with a bit of T-cut and some aerosol. So we'll see. So hopefully that might live on again. So there it is, done. All swapped over.